The following is a special presentation of First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. This is the Tommie's Plumbing, Haun and Sauce Show. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing, Haun and Sauce Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the West Green Buffaloes and Lady Buffaloes baseball and softball teams. We'll recap the end of the season for the Buffaloes. We'll just talk to Coach Haun as he's here just chilling with us on set, but we'll do that right after this break here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. The Tommie's Plumbing, Haun and Sauce Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan and Tommie's Plumbing. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing, Haun and Sauce Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the West Green Lady Buffaloes and Buffaloes softball and baseball teams. As always, I'm joined here with baseball head coach Adrian Sauceman, softball head coach Clinton Haun. Back in your classroom again.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
That's a good one. That's a good way to state that you're here.
You know, there's space heaters. We also have a space eater here today.
Space eater.
There's Jay.
At least
There's
I'm bona
Jay.
fide.
I mean, we're
Bona fide.
45 seconds into the show, and he's already making an appearance this week.
There's the paterfamilias right there.
The what?
There's a guy down in Sevier County who thinks he's the paterfamilias.
What did you say?
You don't know? You ever watch that Brother Wartown?
Yeah, I don't know what part is that in.
Well, it's several parts. He's bona fide.
I know the bona fide part.
Yeah. Paterfamilias.
I do not remember that part. I could go back and watch.
The male leader of the family.
Okay.
There's a guy down in Sevier County who thinks he's the paterfamilias too, I guess.
Okay. Wild way to start this week's show.
Well, yeah.
You never know how it's going to start.
Yeah, me and Han got an idea. We talked before you came in here.
Okay. I'm sure Jay played.
We're not one at a time out here today. We're mass communicating.
Okay. Coach, let's talk about the region tournament.
Do we have to? Yeah.
Pigeon Forge again this year. Traveled up on Friday night, resulted in the 8-0 loss to Pigeon Forge, and then Saturday turnaround play Eagleton and play tough with them for 5.5 innings, and then it slips away in the late innings, and their bats wake up. Again, a 5th straight trip to regions. I know it didn't result in any wins, but how great was it to be back in that regional round?
It's a big thing. You know, for baseball and softball both, you got to make it to the championship game to move on, and it's never an easy thing to do. So it's definitely something you can be proud of. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't imagine there's a whole lot of teams that went to 5 straight regions, like the current streak across the state. So it's definitely something to be proud of, and it's a battle to make it out of the district tournament every year. Because I mean, this past year we had to play 5 games in a span of 5 days, so from Tuesday to Saturday. So we ended up getting that one day off, but we put a doubleheader, so it made up for it. But yeah, it's a tough thing to do, and we're proud of it. But also, like, man, I want to get past that next step too, So. It's a really good feeling, and it's like super frustrating to not be able to get out of it again. But man, it's a tough region. I'm sure there's probably tougher regions, other places, but the one we got's pretty good. Unicoi, Pigeon Forge, Eagleton, they were all really good teams, and from a lot of different standpoints, they're more equipped than we were, facilities-wise, resources. Probably more experienced players too. We had 4 seniors. I think we're probably on the small side with that. But you go down there and play, give yourself a chance. And we went down there day 1 through Jaden, and I told the guys after we beat Chucky Doker to move into the region before we even played the Chucky or Unicoi game. No, we already made up our mind then. I said, we're going down game 1. We're throwing Jaden. It's a team, Pigeon Forge, and they're good. They're always good. We played them early in the year. The game didn't go well. I mean, it was like 11-3 or something like that, maybe. But we saw, and we were throwing our 4 and our 5, and we saw their, I guess their 2. But we saw we could compete against them, if we played well. And teams like that, you got to have a little bit of help too. Then we went down there Friday and we threw Jaden, and for 3 innings it was great. Offensively, we didn't get anything going. So I mean, even if we don't have the blow up there, we still score 0 runs. So I mean, unless you're going to play for 14 innings, you're still going to lose the game initially. But, I have to call her back. It's a matter for millions. Bonafide. So, but yeah, no. Gosh, 3 innings, Jaden looked great, and then 4th inning we come out, get a little wild right there, and then get an error or 2 behind it. And just in a span of a minute or 2, you're down 4-0 now, from being down 0-0. So, and then you got in a bad spot from there, trying to fight your way back into it. And just never materialized for us. Never could get anything going offensively. So, but I mean, hats off to them. They're good. And that was, that kid. I think he was like their 3 or 4. It's a pretty good.
Yeah, that's a
pretty good pitcher for. Yeah, I think his season ERA was like 1. So it's pretty good when you can pull that out. Their best guy, he didn't even throw this weekend. So he was going to throw game 3 if they needed it, I guess. I mean, I assume he's best guy. He's a senior this year. I hope he is anyway. Yeah, then Eagleton. I didn't really. We were much more prepared to play Pigeon Forge. I had more information on them. Eagleton,
Yeah.
I just didn't have much.
Everything was unknown about them. I don't know if anybody really knew much.
We've not played them, and there's only 2 or 3 teams that that I knew pretty well that had played them. So, and it's funny, like with regions and stuff too. Like some coaches, especially in the district, like you don't want to like give everything away because you want your district to do well. So sometimes you kind of got to go outside the box a little bit to find some information out. We found what we could, and like you said, 5.5 innings, it went really well. We're up 3-1. Same kind of situation. We got out there. I think Carp walked the first guy and then hit the second guy, and then a couple of guys got on hits, errors, whatever, and it just 6-run inning. Then they followed it up with another 6-run inning, and then their bats got hot, and they carried them through to the next game too with Unicoi. So. They're good. Everybody down there was good. So, but I mean, you get to that point, everybody should be good.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's a region tournament this year where you don't play any of the same teams within districts. So it's not as unlikely as you think or as rare as you would think, but I don't think that's happened in previous years. Last year you play Chucky Doe, year before that you play South Green. So it was a different year where you actually played the teams from that region instead of anybody within your own district. So
I was not upset to not have to play Unicoi a 5th time. Yeah,
understandable, and that's no disrespect to them. We've said
no.
They're very good.
They're good. Good. It's a good program. Good coach. Chad does a great job with them. And that's with that region too. With Mike at Pigeon Forge and Travis at Eagleton, they all do a great job. We've kind of felt like we was coming in there as the redheaded stepchild in that region, but whatever, that don't bother me too bad either, though. So just go compete.
How's your week been?
Yeah, all right.
I know it's been about an exact week since we sat down and talked last time, and you've had a week without softball now. I know we spoke about tryouts coming up soon and everything, but what's that week kind of been like without softball and kind of preparing for what's ahead in the summer?
It's been weird going home after school. I actually got kicked out of the Walsworth.
They tell you to stay out.
Stay out of the Walsworth.
Yeah. Dang, he was in a tight spot, wasn't he?
Yeah, they said I wasn't a suitor either. No, it's weird. You go from practice every day to going home. I'm ready to get back at it.
Yeah, you're a coach that wears many hats, so you really don't ever have many weeks off or many days off, much less. So it's kind of that weird period for you here at the end of the year where you've got days off and kind of just waiting until the school season ends, until summer tryouts and summer practices can begin. How many days off do you ever really get?
Probably two after football, and then go right into softball after wrestling because you pretty much have to.
Yeah, you coach too much, man. You're dumber than a bag of hammers.
What can I say?
Going to the back half, though, always sucks to do the end of the year interview. Always sort of somber. Always talk about the end of the season and the season ending itself, but I'm sure you've got a lot of favorite memories, moments, and games that you'd like to share on the second half. So we'll jump right into that in just a second. So stick with us. We'll talk about all those right after this break here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.
For over 30 years, Tommie's Plumbing has proudly served the Tri-Cities with a personal touch because we're not just plumbers, we're family. From simple faucet repairs to full plumbing repiping, we have the experience and expertise to get the job done right. We also specialize in water heater and tankless water heater installations, helping you find the perfect solution for your home. Our technicians stand behind their work and always leave your space clean and spotless. Looking for a plumber who's fast, professional, and reliable? Call Tommie's Plumbing and let our family take care of yours.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect. Games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greenville, expect the unexpected. Low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at gatewaynissangreenville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greenville.
Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing Haun and Sauce Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the West Green baseball and softball teams. As always, I'm joined here with baseball head coach Adrian Sauceman, softball head coach Clinton Haun. So we recapped your season last week. Let's recap your season in a nutshell. Talk about some of your favorite memories, moments, and games throughout the season. Some of the answers can be the same. I assume some will. But let's start with memories. What have been some of your favorite memories this year, whether they're in games, whether they're behind the scenes in practices, bus rides, team dinners? What have been some of your favorite memories that you've made with this year's team?
Yeah, for memories, I'm going to try to keep it off the field. We do every year during Read Across America Week. We go over to Mosheim and McDonald. We take our boys over there and go read. It's a really cool time, just seeing them interact with the little kids, and they look up to, especially Will. I mean, they're looking up and like that. But it's funny to watch them sometimes too. Ethan Carpenter he's kind of a funny watch. He don't say much. He's really quiet, and to see him, reading to the little kids is pretty entertaining. And then when we went down to McDonald and read, I guess he wasn't doing a good enough job, and he got fired from that job. You know who took over? His mother, the principal of the school. So he wasn't reading good enough for her, I guess, so she fired him and took over, and that was a good one. I think about Tuna. Anytime I'm hitting fungo, it's just like a barrage of questions at me. It's just bam, 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 bam. When we went down Saturday for regionals, we went over to Gatlinburg Pittman. I know that coach pretty well, and we got a pretty good friendship. And he opened up everything over for us, and we went over there and practiced a little bit before we went over to Pigeon Forge. And a couple of the dads had brought some of the boys over, so they hung around while we was hitting fungo and in the cage. And one of them said something about it afterwards. He said, "Man, I saw Mason up there with you. He's just question after question after question." I said, "Buddy, you saw one day. It's been that way every day for as long as he's been here. So that's something I'll always remember for sure. But yeah, bus rides and getting together and eat, eating after the games and stuff like that. It's just little stuff like that you'll remember.
I'm glad Tuna left some nerd gummy clusters for that game 2 weeks ago, because I seen on your Facebook that he was, I'll say, supervising when you were cleaning the field the day before on Tuesday.
Well, in
for the
his
South Green
in
game.
his defense, he did help a little bit.
But the picture you posted, he did have some nerd gummy clusters.
Everyone
inside.
else had a rake in their hands, and he had a bag of nerd gummy clusters. Yeah. Tell you one more funny on Tuna. We're in JV games. It's a lot different atmosphere after you win the varsity game versus if you lose the varsity game. And sometimes that can be an unfair thing for the JV guys. But after a win, it's a whole lot better. And I forget even which game it was, but Tennessee was playing South Carolina Upstate that night. And Tuna kept giving us updates on the game, but he never would shorten anything. It was every time it was South Carolina Upstate. And so we just kept, making references back to it. Who's Tennessee playing? South Carolina Upstate. And we'd go back, and weeks later we'd go back to that. Who's Tennessee got tonight, Tuna? And somebody'd say South Carolina Upstate. We just kind of kept going back and forth with it. Stuff like that. Like Ethan, when he come in the weight room one day and told us that he was going to Bryan, and as excited as he could be about it, which barely cracked a smile. Jonah coming in, and he's telling me that he's going to Oklahoma State for vet school. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome though. Dude's. I don't think it's going to be completely full ride paid for, but a lot of it is, and it's just because of how stinking smart he is and how hard he's worked. So it's awesome. Just stuff like that, on the personal side of things. It's stuff I like.
What have been some of your favorite moments? A lot of these would probably be from on the field, I would assume.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research on it. I went back and watched the Jamie Palmer show to see what questions you'd ask, which they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, same every year at the end.
But sometimes I forget, so I went back and made notes.
I think you made notes last year.
I sure did.
Now that you
I
say
don't
that.
like to be unprepared, so.
Right.
Julian Greeny's walk-off against Morristown East, that was pretty cool. It was kind of in a losing streak there that had started when you come back and did the first coach show of the year with us, because we were about 4 weeks into it. Playing pretty good.
Shout out Tito SAA.
And then you came, and it's just like the world ended.
I know, I took the blame for all those losses.
Yeah, as you should. So, Greenlee, stepping up, and he's a freshman, and, all year, teams, you would hear it on the field, dugout, whatever. Just throw it in there. He don't want to hit it. Because they look, and he's 5'5", 130 pounds. Freshman, kind of bouncing around in the box. But I'm like, man, the dude wants to hit. That's why he's been our DH all year. So I was like, you're kind of making a mistake if you throw, meat in there to him. And they did, and he got him a little 2-run single there to walk it off. That was awesome.
Good Friday?
It was.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of like, sentimental is not the right word, but it's kind of surreal moment, I guess, because I played for Coach Greenlee, and Julian was born maybe a year or two after I graduated, something like that. So it's I've known him his entire life, and then now he's sitting there hitting a walk-off for us.
It was crazy seeing him play the first time, because if you go back and look at all the Alan Tolliver and Betsy Shaw shows from the last few years, I've had it zoomed out enough where this used to be his classroom.
Yeah.
And you could see his drawings up on the wall.
Yeah.
So that's crazy that now you see him.
Right.
The kid that drew those drawings is now in high school on the field.
And
it makes you feel a little bit older.
now
than
here in
you
a couple
really
weeks, he's going to be a sophomore.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, we're getting old.
Yeah.
Corpse walk-off versus South Green in the districts, that was big too. That was cool. And I think he was one of my moments last year in his walk-off against North Green too.
Yeah.
So those walk-offs are always, you usually don't get a whole lot of them, maybe one or two in a season if you're lucky, I guess. But it's always a big moment when that happens, yeah, for sure.
What are your favorite games now?
Favorite games. So at Cumberland Gap.
Is this late in the, no?
Yeah,
that was,
right before the tournament.
Was it okay? I
No,
thought
no,
that-
no. About
Yeah,
2
it was
weeks
early.
before.
Yeah,
About 2 weeks before the tournament.
Gap was senior night at home, right?
Yeah. No, GP wasn't. We had Gap right after that.
Okay, I got them back.
Because weather situation, didn't know for sure, so, yeah. At Gap, though, and it was a really good pitcher, Cole Carter, he was a sophomore this year. He struck out close to 100 batters, I think. Dude was on fire all year. So we're having a battle against him, and Aiden Willett hits. It's a shame we didn't have TrackMan data on it, because that thing, good gosh, he had to have hit it 100 miles an hour. I mean, just absolutely scorched it. Deep center field, which at Gap is a shot anyways, and hit off the base of the fence at Cumberland Gap. I'm like that, and it probably never got above 12 foot high. I mean, it was just a shot. We had two guys on, both of them scored, and that's all we got for a pretty good while, and we got it a couple late. And Jaden, I think, had 11 or 12 strikeouts in that game. No, that ain't right. Eli started that game. He threw 4 innings, 0 runs. Threw it really well, just breaking the knuckleball out. And then we brought Jaden in the last 3, and so I think he struck out 6 or 7, something like that. Wow.
Did he pull one out on you?
What now?
Did he pull one out on you right there? A 6-7 on you?
He did, yeah.
I had my head turned, but it hit me a second
I
after.
didn't know where he was going with that. So that for sure was one. Both of those Chucky Dope games in the tournament, probably the biggest games of the year for us, for a lot of reasons. But anytime you're able to do it in a tournament too, though, and that first game with Jaden, it's really kind of a mindset game, I guess. Maybe a statement. I don't know what you'd call it, but I feel like that was probably the best game we played all year. And then the second one there to put us in the region. Back and forth the whole way. I mean, it's, they get a shot, we get a shot, whatever. And we're just fortunate to come through, get 3 and a 7th there to come out with a win. So I'd say both of those for sure.
Coach, anything you've got to add? You got to watch the boys a couple times this year, right? I know you brought the mascots up there for the South Green game.
No, it's a Chucky Dope game.
Was that the Chicky Dope game? Okay, I had them mixed up. Were those your dogs?
Mm-hmm.
When'd you get them?
April 22nd.
Okay, so you've not had them for long.
No, they're doing a pretty good job waking me up at 5:30 in the morning.
As they do. What kind?
They are St. Pyrenees. It's St. Bernard Great Pyrenees mix.
Okay. Are they twins or are they brothers? Cause,
Yeah, they're from the same litter.
okay, brothers or sisters?
Brothers.
Brothers, okay. Because they looked about the same age and same size. I'm sure that'll keep you interested or keep you busy this summer.
Yeah, I told Donnie Blue when I was like, you call bad and we'll sick them on you. He's like, well, they ain't going to do much now. I said, just wait a year.
They'll grow.
Be taller than him for too long.
Fellas, we got anything else to add?
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Greg Reese up at Johnson County. He's retiring. Thank you for everything. I hope you have a good retirement, bud.
Johnson County, that place is about a geographical oddity, isn't it?
Yeah, about 2 weeks from everywhere.
2 weeks from everywhere. You're right. Things I'll remember most about the team from this year.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Wow.
Now, he's forgetting his own interviews.
I know your question's better than you do.
Dang,
Sometimes
we're in a
it's-
tight spot.
Sometimes it just, I lose track of the questions.
Well, you're just not bona fide.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'll ask you this one because what question did you say right there?
Thing you remember most.
Yeah. What will you remember the most about this year's team? I have to reiterate the question, honestly.
So you're just going to cut all that part out?
No, I'm going to leave in. Listen, I already made myself sound absolutely stupid last week. And you backed me up on it, and we made each other sound dumb, but I left it in there.
What are you talking about?
We just won't even mention it because now people will go back and look for it.
Well, that's more views, right?
Go back and find it if you want to.
Yeah, we'll leave these little nuggets around.
Yeah.
So what I'll remember most, honestly, like the closeness of the team, togetherness, whatever you want to call it. So it's a group of guys that care for each other, I think. Especially towards the end of the year, you can kind of see it gelling together, really. It's a team, not necessarily just a bunch of guys doing their own thing. Because when you have that, it's easy to break apart. But when you play well, especially in tough spots and adversity hits, and you kind of rally around each other, I think that's when you know you got something. For me, I think the easiest way to tell that is what your dugout brings you, because those are the guys that are not currently in the game, and it's not an easy position to be in. It's a tough ask to want you to root a guy on that is playing in a position that you feel like you should be playing in.
Mm-hmm.
But for the sake of the team, that's what we've got going on. And for you to put those thoughts aside of like, man, that should be me out there, and just to instead focus on the team, and it's big. And when you do have that, that's when great teams happen, I think. One guy in particular with that, he was our Secretary of Energy. We proclaimed the title there during the district tournament. Skylar Thornburg. And Skylar's a guy could play really good infield defense for us, struggles a little bit at the plate. He pitched some for us a little bit this year. He come in and pitched that championship game.
Runner, scored a run against Eagleton.
Did. He come in and pitched the championship game against Unicoi and got Colby Jones out. That was big. We've not stopped hearing about that. That was awesome. But he's a guy, like early in the year, first few games, he's playing a lot of second base, and he was being DH'd for. And just kind of as the season progressed, it just we ended up having to go a different route with it, and that's a hard thing to accept, especially when you're a 16-year-old kid, But for him to kind of put that stuff aside and step into the roles that he had when the time came, that's awesome. And you need guys like that. You need a whole dugout full of them.
I still need to know who does the Mort impression for King Julian.
I think that would be Skylar.
Okay, I still haven't had it confirmed yet, but it's almost just perfected, spot on.
He's pretty good. They do various things like that, and sometimes it can be kind of annoying, but also it's like I don't say much about it unless they're saying something they shouldn't be saying, which very rarely happens with this bunch. But they did probably my favorite one of the year down there Saturday. Christian Hunter was up. They started chanting, Migo, Migo. He's Hispanic.
I know.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure you knew that. That was a good time.
How was field day? Was that a good time on Friday?
But it was good, man. Appreciate you guys for getting
Absolutely.
a bunch of pictures and videos and all that stuff. We've found several of the Valley, but just for all the kids, field day is something that's been awesome for a long time, and for you all to spotlight that, I think that was pretty cool.
It was kind of, I won't say a mess this year, but now that we have had a year doing it, I think we could coordinate it really well next year, where we could be really on top of it and make it as special as we can, because knowing now that you've got different events in different areas, and we've got a lot of people on staff that can be there and do it, I think we could make it a really well done production. So yeah, I look forward to field day next year. I didn't know really what to expect going into it, but it's hectic.
It is. I mean,
Always active.
you've got, what, 17 different schools up there?
Hundreds of kids, hundreds.
Yeah. And, all the families, well, not all, I mean, had a lot of people there too. And that was cool for me too, like, because I remember field day growing up, like it was just all about going and competing or whatever. And then now looking at it as like I get to watch my daughter compete, but also like all these other people that I went to school with, or like I remember from other schools, we just get around and talk about our kids and stuff. It's cool. It's a good deal. So I'm glad you all did that too.
Tryout soon?
Yeah, I think the 26th. We got to lock down the time on that. I get with Tommie and check his basketball times, but I think we're gonna do the 26th. So.
Your tryouts one more time?
22nd,
If you've not seen it yet, 22nd, was it 2 to 4?
4 to 5:30.
4 to 5:30. Tryouts on the 22nd for softball. 26th for baseball. Time is TBD.
And we'll have our youth camp too. It's usually right there the week before dead period, sometime in that range. So,
End of June.
yeah. Well, more like the middle of June.
Right. You're right. Dead period, I think, starts last week of June.
Right.
Yep.
That's always a good time too. Get a bunch of kids out. Always get a lot more in that K to 4 group. But those are fun. They got a lot of energy.
I believe that's all we got. Any more old Brother Warthow quotes before we hop off?
We've hit several of them up, I think. So.
Guess that's it. Do not seek the treasure.
Oh, there you go.
Fellas, it's been a pleasure this year.
Arnie, dude.
One last time, thank you all for watching this year's edition of the Tommie's Plumbing Haun and Sauce Show. Look forward to seeing you next time or next year here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.